But I'm releasing a book August 2020, The Rookie's Playbook, a book for new teachers, practical playbook for thriving in the first year. Well, why does this matter to me, guys? I want to share that with you. Why does it matter that I do this? Well, really, ultimately, it's about kids, man. They deserve a great teacher. And we know that teachers, I think I read a stat, that teachers are leaving within 5 years. 50% of teachers, they're like, yo, I'm out. And often, when teachers come in the game, they get a key, and they go in there and they teach. And it's like, you got your teacher prep program, go in there and teach, right? But we know that teachers need support. And a great teacher changes the game for kids. Like, it changes the game. And I learned that the hard way when I came to teaching. I wanted to be a PE teacher. I wasn't even trying to I want to help kids. Like, nah, dude, I want to just get a check and be a PE teacher. Didn't work out, so I became a math teacher. But, the students actually, they were the greatest gift that I ever had because they taught me compassion. I came from a 2-parent household, things like that, and a lot of my different things like that. I had pretty much what I needed, and I realized when I got in the game, like, that it wasn't I didn't have the same experiences as some of the students that I taught, but it just also, it highlighted that everyone wasn't getting the same thing though. Everybody is not getting the same education, and however, a great teacher can really change the game for students. Like, it can. One of the moments that come to mind, and this just sticks out to me when I'm like, oh, why does this matter to me? Charles. I had a student named Charles, and one day, it was my second year teaching, I said, Charles, can you do this problem for me? And he said, Miss Fitzgerald, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing this problem. And so I'm a pretty fresh in the game. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know how to respond to this. So I just say, okay, how can I help you? What do you need? I think you can do it. And so he attempted to do the problem, but this is 2 weeks into school. He maybe came to my class 1 or 2 more times, maybe a month, and I didn't see Charles anymore. So it's maybe like my last year of teaching, several years later, and I get a knock on my door, and guess who it is? It's Charles. And he tells me, I say, well, Charles, what happened to you? It's like you just disappeared. He said, yeah, Miss Fisher, I've been locked up. He said, I've been locked up for a little minute. And so I was like, wow, okay. But he was like, Miss Fisher, I'm getting myself together. You were my favorite teachers, da-da-da-da. We had a few interactions. That's the one interaction that I remember in my mind. We didn't have a ton of interactions, but it had that much impact. He gets locked up. He comes back to my classroom to say, like, hey, I'm getting myself together, and I just think about those small little nouns that we have. If we are solid in what we do, we're able to build relationships with kids. We're able to say, hey, I believe in you. I think you can do this, and challenge them and support them at the same time. Hey, man, it's on and popping. We are changing the entire scope and sequence of somebody's life by just being that one person. And that's why it matters to me. That's what it matters to me. I mean, like, yeah, content is great, whoop-de-woo, wonderful, but at the core of it all, it's about building the efficacy of teachers and students through the content. That's what it's all about. Because you know what happens? When people overcome challenging things, the question they ask themselves is, what else can I do? I just done this hard thing. What else can I do? And we know that first year is tough. It is challenging, and that is my whole thing. And I want to build the efficacy of new teachers, because if they grow in their practice, that's going to support kids, man. That's what it's all about. I just think about Charles in my mind, man. Small interactions change the game for this kid's life, man. And that's what it's all about. Like, this to me is urgent. It is urgent. It's about kids. And so I will advocate for kids to the day I die, because to me that's what it's all about, man. Everybody deserves an opportunity to create their own opportunity for themselves. regardless of where they come from. And sometimes school is that one way to get that done, because here I have a safe place. Here I have someone that sees me. Here I have, what I'm saying? And so, and not that that's every student, but it's just like, man, teachers have such an impact. And so if we can improve this and get this right, then man, it's going to impact teachers, but most importantly, it's going to impact kids. And I'm out.